Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Resurrection Cup 2026. This is gonna be the first match of semifinals. And we got a pretty plentiful, pretty hype match in our hands today. It's gonna be seed 6 or seed 12. But do not let the seedings trick you, because we're gonna see one super team of crazy Asian players like MCY4, Misha Awa, and of course the duo of Lolos playing against those who are by all the means not any weaker than those, the Australian superstars like Akens, Polar, and all the others. So join us for the ride, because that's gonna be a pretty spicy one. My name is Philoxen, and I'm also accompanied by the one and only Subaru Arima.
Hey, thank you for this beautiful intro, and as you did mention, this is a very exciting match to start off the weekend, as we're going to touch a bit more onto it, but those two teams have very, very distinct, strong skill sets, and it's going to be very interesting to see how each team apprehends playing on the other team's big skill set. You did mention that Australian players team, fully those supporting players for the OWC team from Australia. You're looking at Superior, Cloppit, Akenziatis, Haller. The only one not making it into OWC yet is Drox on that team, as that's still a very strong player. Played a very honorable performance into this 3-digit World Cup 2026. So gaining a lot of tournament experience as well. On the other side, Dadunai with Z numbers, MCY4, Milk Tea, also known as Lolo233, David, also known as Lolo235, and Misha Awa. Like, that is a very, very scary team to face off. A bit of a seeding difference as well, as Dadunai being seed 12, Rectangle being seed 6. So as the map pool scale, that might come into play a bit more. You're seeing a very strong mechanics roster on the side of the Australian team Rectangle. And on the other side, like, you have this super dominant hidden roster, Misha Awa, MCY4, David. Like, this is a scary trio to face on hidden. So I do believe the bans are going to be probably very obvious, that DT2 being obviously the first ban for Dadunai.
Yep, makes perfect sense. After all, Rectangle are really strong when it comes to tapping mechanics, as you already mentioned. So the D2 makes perfect sense, and overall, Dadunai are banning those tapping maps pretty often, especially considering Rectangle also picked those tapping maps last match. So that is quite fair, and a really valid response from Rectangle as well. Nomad 5 gimmicks out of the way. I mean, you just look at the duo of Lolos, and you also see Misha Alba. Those three are really strong when it comes to gimmicks and reading. So Nomad 5 being AR8 with having those crazy overlaps is out of the equation right now. So far, the strategies seem pretty distinct. Rectangle is going to try and abuse those tapping mechanics, while Dadunai will try and find those more so gimmicky, control-ish, tech-ish maps, considering their lineup, and we will see how this goes. On paper, should be a pretty easy strategy, but whether we will see some breakpoints or not, considering the pool being really high already compared to quals on the previous rounds, that's going to be a really interesting question.
I think the superior mechanics on the side of Rectangle is definitely going to be playing a big role into this matchup, and Dadunai are going to be wanting to ban it as much as possible. As we do know, the rules are 1 ban, 4 maps played, and then another ban phase. So only 1 mechanics ban so far from Dadunai possible, and we are going to see that Hidden 2 being the opening pick for them. This is very, very expected, as I did mention. You look at this hidden roster, mainly the trio of Misha, Awa, David, and MCY4, but also Milk Tea, definitely very capable of playing this map as well. You're just looking at that roster depth. On the other side, you do have, granted, a couple of very strong hidden players, most notably Paler and Drox. But is it going to be enough to match the team depth on the side of Dadunai? I'd argue to say that this is a very strong opening pick for Dadunai.
Well, think about this AG2, right? I mean, it just makes perfect sense on paper, because, well, Iris, they just banned a gimmick, and you reply with a gimmick of your own, which is left in the pool. And yeah, it does test exactly what you need. It's about all your aim plus reading. Like, even though the map is quite aimy and has those awkward jumps, it still manages to test your reading really well. It's about the density of the map and also those really obscure patterns blended into the aim section. So for Dadunai, should work out on paper, especially considering Rectangle. I mean, just like, you know, look at those raw stats. The lowest seeding that Rectangle had on any of the maps was AG2, which they got seed 18 on. Everything else they got a higher seeding on. So if everything goes right, if Dadunai is feeling okay today, feel like it should work out pretty well. But we shall just wait and see.
One thing I want to mention, though, is just like this
Yeah.
tournament, if anything, has showed the insane roster depth for Australia as they have been building it for the past few years. Like, this team is seed 6, and it's an Australian team without Emmerich, Zintex, and a Secret Box, who, if you don't know, are seed 1 in this tournament. Like, they made 2 Australian teams, and one of them is seed 1 and the other is seed 6 in an open rank tournament. Like, this is insane depth, and these players are like mainly thought of as the supporting players for Australia, but they themselves have been building themselves as super strong individual performers. So I'm curious to see how they'll fight on this first pick from Dadunai, some of the strongest players on the Asian continent. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. I'm so excited for it.
Yep, absolutely. And with that, without further ado, let's dive straight into it. We're seeing quite an interesting roster of LOL235 Mishawa and MCY4 from Dadunai. Expect LOL233 actually to step in, but not being here. Still though, looks really decent right off the bat. Seen a couple of breaks from Rectangle only makes Dadunai look more confident with that roster selection. Finally a break from LOL, but still, as you're looking at the right side of your screen, everyone on the Australian side are just breaking.
So far, it is looking very, very good for Dadunai. Like, the roster depth on that kind of hidden too. MCY4 is going to be finally finding a miss, but Klopp at AKNZX Power, like, oh, it's a team miss once again. Misha Awa finally dropping the FC, so now no FCs left, but it's still David with the recovery. Already near 200k difference, despite those misses on the side of David. Man, you just... Yeah, it's the opening pick. You were kind of expecting that team to be strong on hidden. We did mention it into the intro. They are showing that we are not wrong about calling them one of the strongest hidden rosters in the tournament. This is going to be very one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, we're just entering the first guy, but you look at the damage already, it's almost 300k, and yes, Dadunai are not being able to bring those crazy combos, crazy recoveries, but it's all about the accuracy now. They got the advantage in the beginning, and now it doesn't matter. Rectangle just cannot find any support, any recovery, and the accuracy is gonna come into play. And when you're comparing accuracies, it's just heaven and earth between the two. Because you're looking at everyone on Dadunai having at least 94, while the top accuracy on Rectangle is 90 from Akens. Everyone else having 85, 87, so that is definitely speaking volumes as we're approaching the last quarter, Sabar.
Yeah, you did mention the accuracy, but like the entire team of Dadunai being above 95 is kind of crazy in itself. Like, this map is really challenging. You did mention the scaling going kind of crazy this week, already massively above the qualifier's difficulty. And there is a bit of combo right now, Misha Awa, but it's really not a story of combo this map. There are going to be a lot more misses in this outro. It is just the accuracy, the consistency overall. The highest score on AKNZX is still more than 100k lower than the lowest score on this side of Dadunai, which right now is on MCY4. Ooh. That team just all around better on hidden 2, unfortunately. Not much to say here. 550k difference in this outro, and a very convincing first pick for Dadunai. I think it's not too concerning for Rectangle. They have a lot of picks to think about, mostly oriented on the mechanics, so not going to be too concerning.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, going into the beginning of this match, you would expect both teams to have really distinct picks against each other. And, well, right now, Dadunai are just saying that, yep, hiddens and gimmicks are going into our favor. The only question, are there any other gimmick maps left in the pool for them to try and consolidate and try to run away for their next pick on something reading heavy? Is the question, because, well, you did see that Nomad 5 got banned. AG2 already is out of the table. And, well, I mean, I guess you could go for Freeman too later down the line if you are Dadunai, but that's some food to process for them right now, because now, as you mentioned, this is a pick from Rectangle, and they are opting straight into the tapping mechanics.
Yeah, tapping mechanics is going to be a no-brainer pick for them. Like, you look at this roster, pretty much, like, the top three lines here, Superior, Klopp, at AKNZX, a monster roster on DT, like, oftentimes, you think of Australia in the World Cups, you think, yeah, there are those DT mechanics monsters. And you think about Emmerich, right, the best DT player in the world, obviously. You think about Secret Box, you think about Zintex. But those three, Superior, Kloppet, AKNZX, have been massive contributors to why Australia has such a scary reputation on tapping mechanics overall. Like, it is hard to understate how high they can scale onto these skill sets. So definitely, I am expecting quite the one-sided show, similarly to what we saw in Hidden 2, but the other way around. On the other side, you do have a couple of players who are able to play tapping mechanics, most notably Milk Tea, Lolo233, very proficient player on this, but unfortunately the roster depth is not quite there to contend on paper at the very least. We might see a very different story once the map starts, but I do believe that this is a very strong first pick for Rectangle.
Yeah, it should make sense. In theory, on paper, for Dadunai, I mean, they do have their tapping specialist in the face of Z9 to try and save the day, and also, as you mentioned, Milk Tea. I also believe Mishao is more capable of, cheesing those tapping sections on this stamina-heavy map that we have right here at 230, but still, considering they started scaling, and overall the fact that Dadunai have already been punished a couple of times on those tapping maps previously into the tournament. It's gonna be a really tall wall to try and climb onto if you're playing against Rectangle. And I'm not even mentioning that Rectangle are arguably the strongest DT team. I mean, just at least looking at those qualifiers, they got top 1 on DT1, top 2 on DT2, top 9 on DT3, so highly contested. This is the type of a team that could just go take DTs into any sort of other seeded team in this tournament and feel really confident on. So, yep, as expected, makes perfect sense, this pick, and with that, good luck fans are seen in the chat.
Yeah, I do believe that basically the only team that would be comfortable into picking DT against these guys is literally the other Australian team. Like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, definitely looking to be a one-sided show, but we're gonna see what kind of roster Dadunai can put up. Definitely expecting Milky to play this one, probably Z numbers as well. Misha's a pretty good double tapper. We know MCY4 in his prime can also tap to some extent. There he is. Actually, no Milk Tea for this one. Yeah, that I was not expecting. No Milk Tea for this one. Surely there's a reason, perhaps a comfort difference. It is going to be an early miss for MCY4 early on. Z numbers, MCY4 once again. And the client is struggling a little bit. But yeah, you look at... Basically, the intro is telling you what to expect from this map. It's going to be stamina, it's going to be tapping, a bit of finger control here and there. And so far, immaculate performance from the Australians. Superior, AKNZX, Clopid, still the three-way FC. The accuracy difference is not that large yet. There's going to be another reset from SVY4. But as the map goes on, I do expect accuracy to be quite a difference maker here.
Yeah, for sure. This is only the intro of the map. The map is not gonna get easier from now on. It's only gonna get harder and harder. And look at MCY4 fighting those breaks all the time, couple of seconds. It's only gonna matter more and more. Even though Mishawa and Z numbers are still holding the double FC, there is nothing you can do when you are trying to face off, trying to catch up to almost a perfect three-way FC, and another break from Z9 as we're entering the first KI, the first heavy tapping section is only gonna add fuel to the fire. However, there is a double break from Clopid and Icon still leaving Rose into the game.
Yeah, Misha still doing his job so far. The problem is he's alone and Superior is perfectly matching, and MCY4 and Z numbers are finding a lot more resets than Clopid and AKNZX so far. Despite the misses, I mean, there is a slight window open to come back into this for Dadunai, but it's very, very slim. And it's basically all Misha Awa right now. Z numbers trying to recover a little bit. The accuracy is not that bad overall on both Misha and Z numbers. It's only really MCY4, the real outlier here in this lobby, struggling a little bit more, both on the combo and accuracy department, and that's really the difference maker. 230k difference at the break, but Superior cannot miss. Like, if Superior finds a miss, it could swing right back, so it's not quite over yet for Rectangle.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Superior set that safety net for Rectangle, but one miss and it might be over. There is a miss from Clopid.
Oh, Misha!
What the hell, but the Misha Awa, that was the big one. That was the miss that echoed across the lobby. Last quarter into the map, and that is gonna be the final nail in the coffin for that first pick of Rectangle. For Dadunai, the possibility of getting a break point is not gonna be alive, as Superior is being the one who is leading the charge right here into the last KI. 97% accuracy, and it's only going up.
Yeah, Superior did not really have his opportunity to shine in OWC, but he's showing right now the improvements he's made. And the stability and consistency he's finding on the skill set. Really the style points right now for Superior. 870k and still climbing. The only significant combo in the lobby, really. I mean, Z numbers has recovered quite a bit, but not even close to be enough to contend what Superior is doing to this map right now. It's the closing sections, accuracy being dropping a bit. There are the shakes for Superior, but it's still happening. Over 1 million points now. Can he do it? The first FC of the match, and there it is.
Yeah, well, he almost jinxed it at the end, getting a bit of those 50s, but that is gonna be your first FC of Res Cup semifinals in the year 2026. Really good performance. And as well as the overall lead was, I believe, around 800k. So really dominant for their first tap-in pick, and that will only make them more confident going into the other tapping maps left in the pool, because there are definitely some left. Even though Dadunai did ban out one of the tapping maps, there is still so many more opportunities that you're looking at. In particular, at Nomad 2, there is also DT3 that's still on the table. So anything they choose, it will most likely work out. But for now, it's about Dadunai looking in the strategy of their own.
Yeah, I will say I'm still a bit curious on why Milk Tea did not play this one. Like, potentially comfort difference, right? You gotta imagine. Like, I thought he would be in for the tapping roster, but with how good Rectangle looked on this map, it probably wouldn't have made that big of a difference. Superior clutching up the FC, and now it's going to be Hidden 3 as a second pick, and the Hiddens are definitely going to be a main weapon here in this matchup. We did talk about this main roster. David, Misha, Awa, MCY4, the trio really looking to do it for Dadunai today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that is the lineup that's definitely managed to bring down some of the really high-seeded teams that Dadunai has faced along the way. For example, they got a couple of points against a team of Rectagon, Ethan Trix, and all the other American superstars on those control maps, which AG3 is. It's going to be all about your tech plus ult at 160 BPM around that. I mean, it's a Vox map after all, one of the pioneers in tech map, and his maps are really fun to play, and overall tests the tech aspect really well. And considering who we have in our hands today, they're definitely gonna excel at this map, which is AG3. While for Rectangle, gonna be quite an interesting mission to try and counter them. I mean, we did see them lose on a gimmick HD map, but we do not know yet how they will perform on... Yes, it is an HD map, but on a different kind of skill set. It's not going to be about your gimmicks, it's going to be about your control. And looking at all the Australian players, they should be able to play the map on paper, but considering who they are up against, it's going to be definitely a really hard pill to swallow.
I'm expecting very similar rosters from Rectangle to contend on this one, Dadunai. The reading aspect not quite there, like on the Hidden 2 though. May have a bit more of a chance here to make it happen. We know AKNZX is a bit more of an all-rounder for this roster alongside Clopit. Pal are definitely going to be expected to be into this one. Maybe Drox making an appearance for this one as well. Superior is going to be mainly the mechanics-focused player here. That core of AKNZX and Clopit is quite impressive, as they'll be playing most maps, if not all, for this roster. Whereas Dadunai really shifting a lot here. At least 2 players are to be expected to change in this one. And Misha probably going to play most maps in this matchup. Let's wait and see. This map should be looking quite good, and it is going to be the same roster as on Hidden 2 for, I believe, both teams.
Oh, yep, looks exactly like it. The map is quite short, so every mistake matters right off the bat. With the intro being out of the way, we're gonna look at what this map has to offer us, what it has in store. An early break from Clopit, not gonna matter as much, but now as we're getting into the more intense techie and all these sections, that's where the bleed will start just pouring out, and MCY with LOL are gonna find a double break, which is not gonna be looking that powerful considering it's their pick.
Yeah, so far, a bit of a shaky start on the side of Dadunai. The combos are definitely on the side of Rectangle. The accuracy so far carrying it a bit for Dadunai, making it still relatively close, but that's nearly a 3-way FC. It's only an early reset from Clopit. There it goes, so double miss on both sides all of a sudden, and now it's just AKNZX with the lone FC in the lobby, going to be pulling it away a bit more. MCY does have a bit of a combo to fight it off, and the accuracy still firmly on the side of Dadunai. But those combos on the side of Rectangle making a huge difference, 40k difference. It's only slowly climbing back towards the side of Dadunai based off purely this accuracy. And Aiken ZX, unfortunately, with the slider break, and all of a sudden is going to be shifting back to the red side.
Yep, indeed. Icons made it look like it was under control, but one miss was all it took. Now that you look at Dadunai, all three players have really good recoveries with really good accuracies. The last Ki is gonna be the last chance, the last bastion for Rectangle to bring things back. But I do not think that this tendency is gonna be possible, because you look at the team synergy of Dadunai. This is what I was talking about when I was saying that they are really strong when it comes to control and tag, and they are proving it right here, right now. Misha might fall, but it's all about the team power that they have, and it is unmatched on maps of this caliber.
And they have firmly settled into this lead. It was a late break from Misha Awa, but David and MCY4 beautifully recovering. All three players from Dadunai besting the score from AKNZX, who for a long time of the map looked like he had the highest combo. Not anymore. What a performance. What a core performance from Dadunai here. Almost 650k S rank from MCY4. Double S rank, actually, David as well. Like, one collective miss in the entire team for Dadunai is so telling of their proficiency on this skill set. What an insane performance. Carried by MCY4 in the starting line. Anciently top 6 finish in the core stage close for a reason. Old man still has a lot of gas.
Yeah, we put it very well. And also, so we're just imagine how many opportunities that also opens up, considering just one, a control map, how many other control maps you have left in the pool. For example, that Nomad 3 that I'm looking at, for example, that HR3, that's also an option. So there's gonna be a lot of avenue to try and go into for Dadunai in their next picks. And I'm not even talking about hidden. There is still HD1 left if they want to keep the trend and go into the next HD map. So, so far, the overall strategy situation is looking quite comfortable for Dadunai. So, no issue for them. Let's see how Rectangle replies with that. They tried that DD3 it worked out. They're going into other tapping maps. They're not changing the strat. It's gonna be free mod 3. This one is leaning a bit more on the aiming side of things, but still those 250 BPM bursts is what's gonna matter the most for them.
Yeah, that 3 bursty map, definitely a smart pick at that. I mean, we did expect it. We did expect it in the intro. Both early picks for Dadunai being hidden, both early picks for Rectangle being tapping oriented. This is the main core of this pick strategy you're going to be expecting from this matchup. So no real surprises here. On paper, should definitely be looking favored towards Rectangle. However, I will say something in the chat. I've been seeing now multiple times people mentioning that the players from the team Rectangle are all at a cafe. I don't know if that's accurate, but if that is quite the insane feat, because still being able to score points and, in the case of Superior, get an FC from a cafe is really impressive.
This better not be real. If it is, that is mad impressive from the players. And well, let's see if they'll be able to score another point under these conditions on 3 mod 3. Now that we're going to the 3 mod territory, it's also gonna test the, of course, roster depth of both teams. And having a bit of context about Dadunai, they really got abused on those free mods in the last round against a Seed 4 team. So, you know, considering this free mod is also about your tapping, that's definitely looking like a perfect pick for Rectangle. Let's see if it turns out to be truth or not. We're seeing the lineups, of course, the tapping roster from Australia, Superior, Akins, and Clopid are here, and we are seeing a counter of the same lineup. Still no Milk Tea on a tapping map, quite surprising, but here we are going to be starting off this map looking at those mod combinations. It seems like we're going for double HD from both sides and one HR.
I mean, we're starting to wonder if Milk Tea is actually there, because like, you definitely would have expected to see him make an appearance in this match with the maps that have been picked so far. With that said, it's going to be the same roster, MCY4, Misha, Z numbers, and already the FCs are gone, apart from MCY4 and the Hidden, so So far, looking decently well for Rectangle team. Still the triple FC going on, both Hiddens and the Hard Rock. Superior tanking the Hard Rock is interesting. I would have expected AKNZX to take this one, but Superior just stepping up like a Chad in this match. And rightfully so, like so far he's the only FC we've seen. And looking quite good on this Hard Rock, decent accuracy, doing a lot better than Z numbers in the combo department as well, so those combos really making the difference happening. And there is something happening on the right side of the screen for one of the three players that I'm not going to mention.
Yep, let's not try and curse it because this is the last sort of the map left. We're not gonna mention it until it's the very end. Superior with a break though. Gonna try and return things back to Dadunai's favor, but the damage has been done long ago. However, a break from Akens and really unfortunate SS choke, only leaving Clopit, the lone boy, the unsung hero for Rectangle, and having enough buffer to just not allow any sort of potential comeback happen from Dadunai's side despite Z9's recovery. It's just not gonna matter. 2-2 is gonna be the name of the game here, and right now both rosters are looking really stable on picks of their own. Every time having that gap between the two of the teams around 500k, if not more, really dominant on their own picks.
I mean, the accuracy, like the accuracy on Rectangle is outrageous. Like this was never close. Like sure, there's 199% score on the side of MCY4, but then you look at Akens and Clopit, like 99.41, 91.7. Like the comfort on these maps, and Akens just falling short of an SS quite literally. So yeah, this was basically never close. Like at least 700k from every single player on the side of Rectangle. You're expecting those high scores. Like even from a cafe, those guys are still beasts on the tapping. With that said, though,
cafe is crazy.
Yeah. With that said, though, Dadunai still fighting valiantly on this map, but yeah, tapping as expected, really going in the favor of Team Rectangle. And now I believe, Loxin, we're going to be hitting the second banning phase.
Oh yeah. Let's see who bans first. I believe it's supposed to be Dadunai, but well, regardless of that, trying to predict both teams' bans. I mean, if you're Dadunai, you just got annihilated on those two tapping maps, and you have Noma 2 open, which is a 200 BPM stamina flow A map, so I would definitely bet on Noma 2 ban from Dadunai, and if I were Rectangle, I'd probably go for Noma 3 or something similar, because Aegis 3 and Noma 3 are quite similar in their nature, so that's just my guess. I feel like it would be quite reasonable, but maybe let's see if they have different thoughts. And yep, seems like Noma 4 slightly different skill set, gonna be more about your tech.
Tech ban coming from Rectangle is also quite understandable. MCY4 in his prime is one of the scariest tech player there is, and Misha Awa as well, quite slept on the skill set. You think of like hidden and aim control when you think of Misha, but on tech he's also a force to be reckoned with. And David himself, like being the lower ranking player on this team, David is still a beast on most of these things. Like David can basically play most skill sets that are not tapping related, so very understandable ban from Team Rectangle here. Now, I would be very surprised to see anything else than a tapping ban from Dadunai here.
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you just ban tapping, if there is no tapping left in the pool, Dadunai can compete on almost everything that there is left against Rectangle. And yep, they're in fact gonna be getting rid out of the last tapping heavy map, being Noma 2. We're not gonna see a 5-minute Kardashev map, Kardashev song, so that is good for them. No more suffering on that. And yeah, so far the captains of both teams are doing a fantastic job, Subaru, is what I'm seeing right here, because they know each other's strengths, they know their own weaknesses, and they are just playing around that like they should. So far, it's just about how the team is feeling, how the pressure is building up, considering if you just keep trading points like that, blow for blow, the pressure is gonna rise, and at some point you will just have breakpoint because of nerfs. And well, let's see if that happens anytime soon, as we're almost entering our mid-game, and Noma 3 is the next choice.
think Nomad 3, you did mention it as a ban potential for Rectangle, so being the next pick coming from Dadunai is also, I mean, a sign of your accurate predictions. Definitely a map that is looking to be favored towards them. A similar skill set from that Hidden 3, of course, mod is being different here, but still on paper looking like quite the strong pick strategy here. I do applaud it, and like looking at the rosters, you definitely think Dadunai should have the answers to be fairly dominant on this map. Where I'm a bit more concerned is where Rectangle will go following this pick, because when you look at the tapping maps being either already picked or banned, that doesn't leave so many options here, so you're gonna have to be shifting your skill sets quite a little bit in the later phases of this match on the side of Rectangle.
Yeah, I mean, that they will have to invent something new, right? That's grounds to worry later on, because right now it's Nomad 3, which they might stand a chance trying to compete against Dadunai on, considering Rectangle actually in their previous match they picked a Nomad 3, and I believe they won it against their previous opponent. But this Nomad 3, it's not your classic Nomad 3 that we're looking at. It's going to be about your control and mostly about your slider hell. It's slider out, I would say. And of course, it is also a custom by the one and only Oatmilk. And I mean, if you do not know Oatmilk, you should just check out the OWC Grand Finals Nomad 3, because Oatmilk was one of the mappers. And overall, Oatmilk is a really experienced mapper when it comes to those slider maps. And they are really unique in its own way, every single one of them, and this one is no exception. So if you haven't seen it before, please join us for the ride, because this map is really funky and fun to watch. And with that, both teams, best of luck. Let's see how this goes.
This should be going on paper in the favor of Dadunai. This is the third pick. You've got to be expecting them to be fairly confident on it. Also, this is a bit on the longer side, over 3 minutes long, so the consistency is coming into play a little bit more. And those early misses, we're going to see Drox making his first appearance in this matchup. But so far, the map is looking a bit difficult for him alongside AK and ZX. Multiple resets here.
Yep, seems like it. The map is also really dense, so there's gonna be a lot of gameplay going into those other 3/4 of the map. So hopefully a break from MCY, a break from Atkins is not gonna matter as much, but with time there's just more breaks going out from Rectangle, only giving Dadunai a head start, an early lead. Mishav and Lolol are not looking forward to soften their grip whatsoever. In fact, Misha Awa is just negative diff in this entire lobby with 99% accuracy at the moment. Finally dropping some on those slider hands, but holy damage right now that he is applying on Rectangle side. Lol though is finding a break right here, so that's not so much force applied on Rectangle, but still you need to do something about Misha Awa, because if not, he's just gonna make that score lead skyrocket.
I did mention Misha Awa, as he does finally find this slider break, but there aren't any massive combos on the side of Rectangle, and MCY4 has a decent recovery to fight them off. I did mention Misha being quite known for the hidden and the aim control, but Misha really has scaled to be this pretty all-rounder player that is becoming this tournament beast, representing the future of Hong Kong, really. And in this team, we have, like, the past monster being MCY4, right, alongside Suwagi. Those for a long time were the two Hong Kong players that everybody feared, but now Misha is stepping up to take on this role, because look at his performance. Also now recovering, still holding on the highest score in the lobby by insanely far. David and MCY4 are trailing, but you look at this team consistency once again on their own pick, like the roster depth is just there, despite David finding another slider break. It's Misha once again now the only one above 300k and still climbing with the 600 combo and a 98% accuracy. Like, hello?
No, yeah, I mean, Misha only found the break and then recovered and still became the biggest combo in the lobby. Everyone else is just crumbling. Everyone is falling apart, but not Misha Ava. Finally, now he is going down, but 2 times that he proved us on this one map in a span of less than 3 minutes that he is a whole different beast when it comes to control of that sword. Just completely annihilating anything that Tangle tried to put up as a whole team. Almost being only 200k score away from 1v3 in the team right now. and still counting. Finally, the map is showing its true colors, having really hard sections in the last TI, and Mishawa is not being able to keep up, but holy damage that has been done before that is just speaking volumes to her.
I mean, the fact that it's a close 1v1 between Kloppet and David, Kloppet being the highest score in his team and David being the lowest score in his team is telling of how much stronger and more comfortable Dadunai were on the skill set. What an onslaught of a performance, and topped by Misha Awa, 426k. This may not seem like a very high score nor a very high accuracy, but if you were there to watch the map with us, you'll know what an insane performance that was from Misha Awa. What a confidence boost also to step in the second phase of this match. Like, those picks from Dadunai are still looking insanely confident.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it looks like Dadunai, they definitely know what they're doing. And also, Subaru, considering it's an elimination match, the loser of this match goes home. Both teams really seem like they made sure they practiced, and so far, it's been working out for both of them. For Dadunai, looking quite promising, considering overall, in this pool, you have a bunch of control maps still left in the pool, so they have other opportunities that they can be really confident in picking next time. But now, the real question comes to Rectangle. Do they have other skill sets than tapping to put up with Dadunai? Because that's my question. There is no other high BPM tapping mechanics map, so they need to explore the territory, and let's see what they try to go for.
Yeah, to me, the biggest question mark is definitely on that Hard Rock pool that has been entirely untouched so far in this match. Neither banned nor picked, and just entirely ignored, and it probably won't last for the entire match as the remaining maps outside of this Hard Rock pool are running slim now. And when you look at those players on the side of Rectangle, you see AK and ZX, like, people will think about them as the speed demon mechanics demon, also very, very, very capable Hard Rock player. Alongside Klopp and Paler, who also are capable of pulling out good performances on this mod, so perhaps the Hard Rock pool could be a bit of a solution. For now, it's going to be DT1. Emptying out the DT pool sure is a wise decision on the side of Rectangle. You look at DT1, you look at DT4. Like, that's understandable, but sooner or later, I'll be expecting a Hard Rock pick.
Yeah, that is definitely valid to think, especially considering we saw a lot of Hard Rock bans in Dadunai's last match. They banned HR1 and HR3, so that is definitely calling it out loud for Rectangle. Yeah, please pick Hard Rock into me. But, well, let's see if they do listen to the voice or not, because right now it is DT1, another pick that makes sense. After all, they got Seed 1, DT1 for a reason in the qualifiers, and this one is gonna be not, well, it's gonna be the same skill set pretty much, but it's more about your mixed aim right here that you have. It's drum and bass, it's around 260 BPM. You have that speed aim, speed generic aim. You also have those triples, and you have those bursts at 260 BPM, and also some of those slider jumps. So there is a bunch of those aiming and mechanics skills. That's exactly what Rectangle is looking for. So if something goes wrong, unless something goes wrong for them, it should work out, and we should be at 3-3. But you know, with time, it's only gonna become harder and harder, because with time, the picks are only gonna become more competitive, and who knows at what point we're gonna see the crack.
Yeah, honestly, I think emptying out the DT pool is the wisest thing you can do right now, because that DT1 definitely having a bit more of a modern twist. Like, as the years have gone on, DT1s have been straying away from being pure aim tests and being a bit more speed oriented, so that aspect could be playing into the favor of Rectangle. With that said, on the raw aim aspect, MCY4 Misha Z numbers is a very feared, like a feared roster, so I'm confident that this is still a very good pick for Rectangle. You did mention the very, very high seeding in qualifiers, so hopefully they make something happen here. Superior Kloppet, AK, and ZX is a very scary roster to face off on this map, but let's see how it goes. Let's see if the tapping can work out a bit better here for Dadunai, or if it's still going to be a bit much.
Yep, for sure. The map
my
is
God.
really short. It's very fragile. And both sides are actually suffering right now. This map is brutal by all the means. It's not forgiving any mistakes. The full combo reset is actually not gonna do anything as all sides are now recovering. Except Z9 now. It's gonna be Iris with that accuracy advantage trying to run away, as they should have, considering it's their picks so far been working out. But that first guy definitely got us nervous.
Yeah, like, was that pattern like harder than what I imagined? Like, what happened? Everybody missed. Anyway, it's still a combo advantage on the side of Rectangle here, and a snowballing lead. It's really only Z numbers struggling in that early section of the map. It's a very short map as well, so every combo is going to matter. Superior AKNZX Clop it basically on FCs. I mean, since everybody missed at the same point, we could basically call them FCs right now. Misha and MCY4 doing what they can. The burst not claiming anyone, and it's a triple miss on the side of Rectangle. Hold on. Like, this could go right around back to the favor of Dadunai.
It is. Look at that. Look at how fast it's going right now. Here it is. The defenses has just been penetrated from Rectangle, and Dadunai are now taking over the lead with Misha Awa leading the charge right here. 98% accuracy. Almost have seen reverse choke in the map, in fact, and this is exactly what I was really scared of. The first breakpoint is gonna happen right here, right now. It's gonna be 4-2 on a map as fragile as this one, as short as this one, only 1 minute and 40 seconds. That is the RNG at its finest, and this is right now punishing Rectangle really badly, as it's now Dadunai having the initiative.
Man, the aim is just killing them. Like, 2 S ranks also on the side of Dadunai. Like, MCY4 and Misha Awa. Misha doing the work once again, and even Z numbers managed to recover a bit in that middle section. But this is a double triple miss on the side of Rectangle that just slayed in half their score, the potential score. Like, for all I know, this could have been a triple FC. Like,
Yeah.
This is just the RNG aspect of this map, just killing that scoreline on the side of Rectangle, and it was close until it suddenly wasn't.
No, yeah, I mean, it's just the build-ups. The build-ups to the KIs are actually the hardest part to not lose combo on. And, well, this is unfortunately exactly the fate that Rectangle had to face. And with that, so 4-2, and the even worse scenario for them is that it's now Dadunai. They can secure the next pick. It's their own pick, and they already have the answer for us. It's going to be free mod 4, and look at free mod 4. Just written the definition, the explanation that I have in my own notes. It's just writing itself, Subaru. It's flow, it's tech, it has those old map bites, and, well, of course, it's your original for Raz Cup from Log, also known as 777 system. So, great song, great map as well. It is a custom by Taikani as well, so shout outs to the mapper Taikani, also being a caster for this tournament. So, yep, indeed. Yeah, this one about your flow and about your tech, and as we've already seen, Subaru, Dadunai has no issue with either of these skill sets.
Yeah, basically, I think one of the most logical picks there was with the remaining maps for Dadunai here. Not wanting to bury the chances of Rectangle here to make a comeback, but that breakpoint was really unfortunate on the DT1, and now Dadunai are going to be looking for an early occasion to close off the match and at least get this match point right. Like, Dadunai still have a couple of very strong picks remaining in the roster of maps that have not been touched yet, and we did mention this Hard Rock pool entirely untouched yet. You're surely expecting it to be brought up sooner or later in this match, surely.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what else could you potentially go for if not Hard Rocks? I mean, that seems like the most logical decision, especially after not being able to assert dominance on DT1. So, yeah, no matter what happens on that Fremont 4 Rectangle, they should try a different skills, a different mod to opt into. Because if not, then the chances are really high that one of the Australian super teams will be out of the tournament. And Dadunai are already polishing the blade. What can I say? Right now, that Fremont 4, I'm pretty sure the roster depth is going to be completely fine, perfectly fine on this Fremont, considering the skill set that this map has in it. So, yeah, with good luck, with good lucks in chat. Let's see how this goes. For Rectangle, if they lose this one, it's gonna be 5-2. They will be walking on the knife's edge. So if they want to stay in the game, if they want to have at least some sort of a buffer, they really need to have a god mode on this one.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing in the opening sections of this map something reminiscent of the past with MCY4 going hidden hard rock on the free mod, something very few players have done in these past years, and you would see that from him would it be in open rank tournaments and OWC as well. He's up there with one of those very few players who have the nerve to take that, so you love to see it. So far, not many mistakes on this intro. It's just Power dropping the combo right now. But with how confident Dadunai have been looking on their picks, you want to avoid those early misses as much as possible if you're a Team Rectangle. So far, the build-up, not claiming anyone else. And that pattern was difficult. Everybody hit it. Like, I was expecting at least someone to drop it. It's going to be Misha, Awa, and Kloppet trading now. But so far, both teams looking pretty good.
Well, so the fun is only beginning because the map is getting harder and harder, and we're looking at more of those breaks across the board. And Icons actually being the only, have seen the lone warrior of Rectangle right now. There is no one to try and contest the guy. This is exactly the opportunity they were looking for. You just lost a breakpoint, you want to return the favor. This is your chance right here. This is more so a chill section, so it's only gonna help you with consolidating that lead, to building that safety net that you're trying to set up right here. And Akins right now being the savior for Rectangle. Let's see if he is gonna be able to keep up with this map's pressures. We're slowly but surely gonna enter a really challenging techie section, and that is truly gonna be the challenge for Akins to try and accomplish.
Yeah, all eyes on Akins. Like, the problem is he's kind of alone. The recoveries are there on the side of Dadunai. The build up here, the sliders, it's a double miss. Power and Kloppet is still Akins, but the accuracy is doing so much work on the side of Dadunai right now. It's stabilizing this lead to about 30k. Akins doing everything he possibly can. Closing in on 1,000 combo in this section. The tech section, the sliders still being hit with excellent accuracy on the hidden by Akins. Like, this is all Akins right now. MCY4 did find a reset, but it's Misha and Lolo on both the hiddens contending with Akins combo, and is what's making this map close. Akins doing everything he can, but both combos on the side of Dadunai are swinging it back slowly to the red side. Power and Kloppet really struggling on this section. Akins is pulling off an inhuman performance, finally finding the miss on those stacks, unfortunately. And unfortunately for Rectangle, Misha, Awa, and David are just not going to let this pass. This opportunity 3/4 of the way through as Akins find a miss. And all of a sudden, it's 127k difference.
Yeah, it was Akins against the world. And when he needed at least some recovery from his teammates, he just wasn't there. He tried his best, but also this combined with Misha, Awa, and Lolo's dynamic synergy right here. With those combos, 1k mark from both of them. Even someone like Icons is not gonna be able to pair that. Because Dadunai, this is what happens when you are going into a control map against a control heavy focused players. Misha Awa is still holding despite Lol finding a break. Misha Awa is the one that has been the pacemaker of this entire match for Dadunai, and he is gonna secure the 5th point with a really dominant fashion. For them, 5-2 is gonna be the outcome right here. It's just gonna be the last point for Dadunai to try and get later down the line. But with how Misha Awa is blowing everyone out of the water right now, putting an absolute clinic of a performance, that's gonna be really hard to do.
Yeah, we were going crazy on AK and ZX's combo, but like Misha and David are just on another planet right now. Like Misha 736k, and David, we didn't really mention it during the match, but before he find that barrage of chain misses at the end of the map, he had 99% accuracy on this map. Like, this is just a performance to beat on this skill set. Dadunai, double hiddens, one hidden hard rock, and like even hidden hard rock, 368k on the MCY4, still higher than both Kloppet and Power. This was never close after the AKNZX miss, basically, and a 500k difference. Very convincing pick once again, and now backs against the wall for Rectangle. Unfortunately, like they're going to be looking to make a comeback, perhaps, but where do you go from there? Because Dadunai are just looking so confident of their own picks.
Indeed, I mean, we've been talking about the one very hard rock pool on this match, so it's better to do now than never, because you only tried to go into a different skill set from your raw tapping, didn't work out, and well, other maps are just controller aim. So this is something that could be very risky to go into against Dadunai. So I would say Hardox is just as you, but oh my god, it seems like Icons has a different answer.
Yeah, it is going to be Nomad 1, and for a mechanics team, I do understand this pick and where it's coming from. So why not? I mean, you have Akens, you have Cloppit, Pallor could play this map also. Like, all things considered, this is not a bad pick for Rectangle, and they have to make it work. The back's against the wall for them. But when you look at the roster on the side of Dadunai, they do have very capable aim players. You're thinking, of course, of MCY4 for this one, alongside Misha Awa. Third player, I'm wondering if Z Numbers or David is going to take this one. We have not seen Milk Tea at all in this match. We have to assume he's absent for this one, which is a terrifying perspective. Like, that's... Like, Dadunai is looking that good without Milk Tea, who is arguably one of the strongest scaling players on this team, so... Yeah, it is going to be a bit of an uphill battle here for Rectangle, but I'm confident in the fact that they can put up something decent on this map.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to RNG their way through. Sure, DT1 did not work out. Maybe Nomad 1, things will be different over there. After all, you just compare stats from both these teams and Nomad 1 qualifiers, for example, to just understand how close their skill sets are in that raw aim department. It's Dadunai getting seed 10 and Rectangle getting seed 11 on Nomad 1, so it should be really, really close from my expectations. Whether it will be or not, whether you have to count in the, morale factor, the fact that you're 1 point away from being eliminated and go into that Nomad 1 might be a really, really scary scenario that you have to acknowledge if you're Team Rectangle. So, a lot of factors are also playing around your performance right here, which you need to put up with. And of course, this Nomad 1, if it ends right here, it's still gonna be a really great outcome. Both teams have been performing really well, and also the Nomad 1 itself, of course, also needs a bit of a recognition. It is an original song from ARC's for Resurrection Cup, so thank you so much for another song. We're covering every single custom in this match, Subaru, so that's just great to see. And of course, it's gonna be all about your raw aim at 220 BPM, nothing too out of the blue. So this is just your test of aim right here, and well, let's see who has the upper hand in this one.
You love to cover the customs here. Last chance here for Rectangle, basically to make a comeback, to start a comeback in this match. It's going to be a very early miss from Cloppit alongside AKNZX, alongside Drops, so already the intro not looking too good for them. It is going to be traded rapidly by Misha and David, so we did mention MCY4 being the force to be reckoned with on this map. The aim, so far, looking like a Dadunai show here in this intro. You're going to be expecting the accuracies to be very high on this one. It's really just an aim challenge. Surprised not to see Pallor in for this one. Drock's going to be taking the third slot here. Going to be finding another miss, but alongside him is going to be MCY4 and Misha Awa, so maybe not looking so bad after all, with Cloppit and AKNZX recovering fairly decently.
Yeah, for sure. So far, that is what's saving the day for them. Is going to eventually go into their favor. Drox also trying to recover it here. After all, you don't see Drox very often in Resurrection Cup, so maybe that's exactly what you need to put the guy on the map that you really want to depend on and see him outperform everyone, but so far it's not happening. However, it doesn't really matter, because there is Cloppit and Akens setting the pace right now, while everyone inside of Dadunai are not being able to grab onto any sort of recovery, except Misha with 140 combo, but it's nothing compared to combined efforts of Akens and Cloppit, both reaching that 500 combo mark, only first, third into the map. The lead is still really slow, really small, almost abysmal, only 40k, so things can still change. But so far, as long as Cloppit and Akens find those recoveries, still keep going, that's gonna be more than enough for them. However, a break from Cloppit is gonna shift the tides a bit.
Yeah, it is traded by David, so it's not the worst situation in the world. But once again, as we've seen before on the side of Rectangle, it's now all hopes on the shoulders of Akens. Drox is going to be struggling a little bit on this section. Misha Awa to trade one of them. It's only MCY now, and still Akens with that massive combo. And as long as he holds, everything is safe for Rectangle. But all hopes on his shoulders right now. Cloppit found another reset, and it is a trade from the two highest combos in the lobby. So right now, even grounds, 65k difference, and that final third of the map is going to be deciding of who takes this one.
Yeah, for sure. And here's a slower section. It's only gonna get more pressure going on, more nerves to start boiling. Aikens, once again, just like in the previous map, tried to be the hero. They found a break, but will he lose the ground this time as well, or will he keep fighting is the question. 80k, we're entering the more intense jump section. Everyone on the side of Iris are finding breaks, everyone on the side of Dadunai as well, except Misha Awa. Once again, the hero of Hong Kong is here to try and save the day, to try and finish it off right now and advance to the next round of semifinals, but the break is gonna stop him from success in doing such.
It looks like now with the combos being dropped everywhere except for Kloppet, it's going to be Kloppet taking that role to carry in the late phases of this map, but it looked like a bit of a danger zone once again, looking at Atkins being the only big combo in the lobby, but his team had his back for this time. Kloppet now taking on this role as we reach the outro. It is a 90k difference, and I think it is safe to say Rectangle are going to be surviving one more map at the very least into this matchup. It's not quite out of the woods for them yet if they want to mount a comeback. They have to take one of those precious breakpoints against a team that has looked so dominant on their own picks so far, but that Nomad 1 is looking like it's going to work out for them. 100k difference in the outro, and the superior mechanics team is going to be taking the aim pick.
Yeah, they really are. DT1 did not work out, however, Nomad 1 is gonna set the record straight this time. AIM, even though it was a really close rivalry, is gonna go into Rectangle's favor. 5-3. They were in the chopping block, but now they have escaped it a bit. So, still not done. Dadunai have to finish the job, and they will have an opportunity in doing such, because the next pick is theirs, and in fact it's gonna be the last pick of Team Dadunai in this match, no matter what happens after.
It is still 2 match points in the favor of Dadunai here, so not the worst situation in the world to lose this map, and it looked like it's going to be an instant pick. It looks like it's going to be an instant pick on the side of Dadunai, so I think with the maps remaining, yeah, Hidden One had to be an option to consider here. The Hidden team has been so good so far in this tournament for them, so I don't want to call it before it's over, but man, this is looking like quite the uphill battle for Team Rectangle here.
Yeah, it really is, especially considering we know what this map has for us in store, Subaru. It's HD1, first of all, it's HD modification. Every single HD map that Dadunai have already played, they want it. Second, this HD1 is going to be about your flow and rhythm changes, like those 1/3, 1/6. So that is the combination of those skill sets that is also favoring Dadunai on paper. It should be mission impossible for Rectangle to win this HD1. So they really need a miracle right here, because if not, we'll have to say goodbye to one of the Australian superstar teams, and Dadunai will live to see another day.
Dadunai so far done the necessary. Mind you, with only 4 players in this matchup, like sure, there's the Cafe nerf on the side of Rectangle, but there is also 1 player missing on the side of Dadunai, so this match surely has been having a bit of an awkward pacing for both teams. But with how good they've been looking on Hidden, it's just hard to imagine Rectangle amounting to come back here, but they have to make it happen. It's now or never. The 6th seed facing elimination in this losers bracket against the 12th seed. Good lucks are dropped in the chat. We are about to hit this potential final map. Rectangle are going to be looking to try to deny the statement. Dadunai trying to confirm it.
Indeed, trying to delay the inevitable right here if you're a Rectangle. So need to pull yourselves together right here if you want to keep the dream alive. That AG1 is definitely gonna be an uphill battle. And we're seeing the signature lineup of Dadunai on those control maps. It's gonna be LOL235, MCY4, and Misha Awa. The trio you do not want to be up against by all the means on maps like this, but this is what you have to go through to win this map, and that HD1 is merciless, Subaru.
Yeah, merciless is the word to describe it. Like, you're already seeing a 6-way drop in the lobby. and Drox finding more misses in the second section here. It is looking like a slim accuracy and combo lead in the favor of Dadunai. Maybe not so slim with Eki and ZX finding another miss here. It's only Kloppet holding on a semblance of combo in this introduction. Accuracy, story told one time and once again, is higher on the hidden for Dadunai, and it's looking like it's taking that path once more. I mean, Atkins still fighting pretty well with the accuracy. Kloppet still holding on to combo. It's not quite over yet, but Atkins and Kloppet double miss here, and still a three-way combo here. Basically a reverse choke right now for MCY4, David, and Misha, and it's only Drox with any hope to bring this back in the first third. It's already over 100k difference and rapidly growing. Finally, MCY finding a drop, but he's nearly at 99% accuracy. Like, this performance overall from Dadunai is so consistent.
Yeah, for sure. Drox is now the last bastion of Rectangle, trying to still have his team play and compete against Dadunai. But there's Misha Ava and Lolo, these two names we've been calling out this entire game, and they are not backing down on any sort of map so far in this match, especially when it comes to picks of their own. Drox is still here, he's still swinging, he's cornered, but he is still fighting. But when there is no support, it's not gonna matter whatsoever. Double FC is gonna be your demise right here. Finally a break from Misha Ava maybe is gonna let some light onto the situation, but LOL is still here. You cannot just ignore the guy. He's completely trading everything that you're trying to put up, and also MCY was the recovery is just not gonna let anything slide from the right side.
Drox trying to shine on this one, and he's putting up an insane performance, but he's being matched by David, and this is what we were talking about here, Philoxen. This hidden roster, despite David finding a late miss in this section, the roster, the hidden depth on this team is just so good. When Misha doesn't step up, it's time for David. When David finds a late miss, there's the recovery on MCY4. These three players complementary here, making for an insane performance, and despite Drox finding the late miss, there was a recovery on Kloppet, but simply not going to be enough against a near 1000 combo on MCY4. And Philoxen, this is looking with a 400k difference like it is going to be GG with a 6-3 scoreline on the side of Dadunai.
Yep, Milk Tea wasn't even here for Dadunai, but they did not care. 6-3 is gonna be the score of this match, with MCY finishing this match with a 1k combo right here on HD1. This is the end of the road for Rectangle. Dadunai, as a Seed 12 team, beating a Seed 6 team. First of all, it's a great upset. Second of all, they are not a C12 team. Hello, what are we doing? They are insane in this game. Yeah. And I'm only looking forward to their performance later into the second round. Yeah?
That's not even their final form. Like, they're missing a pretty key player from the later stages of this tournament. Like, yeah, Dadunai, a terrifying presence in this loser's bracket. Now, on a personal note, I'm going to have to do a very quick congratulations to both teams because I'm awaited currently for a cast at COE, so I'll let you do the outro, Philoxen. So thank you for watching, and I'll give the outro to Philoxen here.
Yep, alright, and thank you so much for joining. Good luck with your other cast.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that, we're gonna be covering another match in actually -2 minutes, I believe, because it's supposed to start at 14 UTC today, which is now is already 14:03. So stay tuned. We're gonna be there really soon. But for now, my name has been Philoxen. I was joined by Subaru Arima, and we will be back really soon. But that's it from me. Bye bye.